folks. Well, today we are spending this beautiful autumn day out here up in the mountains of Vermont, hiking this old road to go to a place that I found in a previous video. I never mentioned it, and I just cannot stop thinking about it. Some of you may remember back in the springtime, I was out on this piece of property hiking through these fields, which obviously they're not fields anymore. 200 years ago they were sheep fields, hoping to find a place where some Revolutionary War troops that used this road kind of parked off and spent the night or something. And I did find a USA button, which was incredible. Look at that, USA! You've got to be kidding me. That day, as I said, I didn't mention in the video, I found a fairly large patch of iron with my metal detector. And I spent about 20 minutes there, and I really didn't find much but nails. But I just could not stop thinking about this place all summer. Like, what the heck was that? So we're back again today to kind of sift through those nails, see if we can find something else. Unless somebody threw a bucket of nails out in a field. There was a structure there, and hopefully somebody lived there, used the building for something, and we can find something amongst those nails. We got a ways to go. I don't exactly remember where it was. Kind of all looks the same out here. I know it's this direction. Up. Alright, well, I believe we've arrived. Like I said, it all kind of looks the same out here, but I do vaguely remember this kind of peak in the stone wall right here with a little piece of flat quartz on top. Pretty sure this is the spot. We're going to get the metal detector out, try to find this place again with all the nails. Something I noticed is there's no break in this stone wall. Oftentimes, if there was a home out here, there'd be a place to, get to the road from the home. I don't see one of those, but we'll see. So we're going to spend our time sifting through these nails, trying to find something interesting, and I'm going to dig every target that sounds like something more than a nail. Even things that are iron, that are larger, can be interesting and can maybe shine some light on what this place was. See what we can find. Alright, well, I'm wandering around in this patch of iron that we found. As expected, they're nails. A lot of nails. And so far, not very many non-ferrous targets. That's okay. Our plan is to sift through this and see what else we can find. I'm trying to determine if people stayed here for any period of time. I'm hoping they did. And the thing that I just found here, I think is a pretty good sign of that. It's hard to tell. And the only reason I know what this is because I've found many of them in the past. Although I will say I've never found one with this shape before. This would have had, it looks like probably wooden scales on here, maybe bone, and this was a fork, and there would have been probably 2 prongs and used for eating a meal out here. So that's a good sign. People were here at least for a night. The nails, obviously, they would have built something here. They would have been here longer than one night, but hopefully while they were here they dropped a few things besides their cutlery. Let's see if we can find some of that. Alright, well, we finally got our first non-ferrous, non-iron target here, and it appears to be a very old pewter button. It does still have the shank on the back, and I'm just going to get a toothbrush and very carefully wipe that to see if maybe there's something on there. Nope, doesn't appear as though. Looks like it's blank, but little pewter button. This is a good sign. This is probably maybe early 1700s. We're in a good spot. Alright, well, I just found something I thought was going to be another nail. I've been taking a lot of nails today. I'm not sure what it is. I'm on the fence. And I've found things similar to this in the past, and I think that the consensus in the comment section of the videos was that it was a wedge for, like an axe. But it's got this curve to it and appears to be broken here. I'm wondering if this is actually one of the tines on the back of a claw hammer. Pretty interesting for a piece of iron. Maybe we can find the rest of the hammer. Alright, well, it has been pretty slow going, digging all this iron looking for the non-ferrous stuff, but it seemed to have just paid off again. We can identify it as a shoe buckle or knee or a hat buckle. with the pin still intact, there would have been, you know, a fork and a shape there as well. That's long gone, unfortunately. Very cool. Colonial. Early 1700s, I would guess. Awesome. Well, if you couldn't tell, we're just past peak foliage right now in the mountains of Vermont. Down in town, the leaves aren't quite this far, but the elevation that I'm at right now, there are a lot of bare trees out here. And it's a very interesting time to be in the woods. A lot of the songbirds are gone, the geese are gone. It's very quiet out here. We've got the wind through the leaves and stuff, but I don't hear any animals. You know, in the summertime you can hear chipmunks racing around across the stone walls, but it's quiet. It's nice. A little eerie, but it's nice. We're gonna keep going. See what else we can find here. Well, this is a pretty common find. It actually sounded pretty good on the metal detector because of the hole in it. You can probably guess what that is. Chain link. Pretty much unchanged how they are today, except this would have been made by a blacksmith with a hammer, which is pretty impressive if you think about it, how much time and effort would have gone into something like a chain. Again, typically wouldn't show you on any other day, but today, anything but a nail is getting me excited. So a lot of people comment on just how soft our soil is here, and you know, I can't disagree. And a lot of people often ask how deep the stuff is that we typically find. Most places I go in the woods, if you can get the plug out, you can see how thick this plug is. This is all topsoil. Usually right beneath this plug is a layer of harder soil like clay. And most stuff will sink through the topsoil over time, over 100 years, and sit on top of that clay. You don't usually find stuff incredibly deep in the woods. In cornfields and stuff you will, because the plow puts it underneath quite deep. This hole, however, I hit the clay. And this is the harder stuff. And the target was still deeper. So I dug and I dug and I dug, and way down here, we have another shoe buckle fragment. I don't think that it's the same. Let me get it out. I'm quite a distance from where I found this other one, though. That might be the same one. I guess it would be this side, because this is the center. Well, that's pretty cool. I'm not convinced. I think this one is skinnier. I think these are two different buckles. Well, hey, shoe buckles is a good sign. Hopefully we can find a full one out here. Although, judging by the condition these are in, probably not. Alright, well, as the day goes on, non-iron targets are harder to come by. But we just got one, and very similar to our first find, except this one is most likely a spoon handle. It does appear to be pewter, because how much it's falling apart. And some of them hold up, some of them don't. Looks like this one actually had a plating of some kind, which you can see here just on the back. It might have been a very kind of modest silver plate, which is mostly gone now. That's what that is. You can see the spine on the back of it here. It would have been a spoon long ago. You know, I find utensil handles pretty regularly, but it always feels a little bit different when you find one so old. And what were they doing out here? And where did they go? Alright, well, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. It was not a great target, like the rest of them today. And this caught my eye. I spent a couple minutes looking at this. I was like, oh wow, look at this. It's like a, whatever it was, it had some glaze on it. I thought it was a brick at first. It had an interesting back on here. Oh, okay, put it aside, continued with my hole. Check it out, I think this is a coin. Unless it's a button. Shaking a little bit. Today's been such a long day. Fighting through all these nails. Man, what in the world is this? Seems to be quite a bit of text on there. Ooh. Alright, I'm not going to brush it. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to try to pop this soil off. Alright, we're going to get the flashlight out. See what we got here. No way! No way! Oh my god, I can't believe it! Ah, can you see this? Check it out. This right here, see if I can get it just the right way, is a sun peeking over some mountains. This is actually one of my logos that I use for the channel. It's a coin that I've never found legible. I did find one, and I had to go through some extreme measures in order to identify it. It was absolutely smooth, and I used some acid, and I was able to ID it, but it was nowhere near this. This was the top of my bucket list. This is the thing that I've always wanted to find, and in the condition that it is. I haven't even mentioned what it is. This is a Vermont copper. This is a Vermontensium Vermont copper coin. So up here you can see the SIUM of Vermontensium. There's the little, there's the sun looking over the mountains with the trees. Incredible. There it is. There's my white whale. Beautiful. Be hard to beat that today. Let's keep sticking around here and see what else we can find. Man, I can't describe how excited I am about finding that Vermont coin. I've just been standing here staring at it. You know, it's not incredibly valuable as far as coins go from that time, but having been born in Vermont, living here my whole life, being in love with this place, finally finding the Vermont coin. It's hard to describe. Beautiful day, foliage, leaves are all turned. Perfect time. Strange place to find it. Not much here. Buttons, some buckles, and a Vermont coin. Incredible. We're gonna keep going, see what else we can find here. Maybe we'll find some more. But even if we don't, I'm happy. Alright, well, I've been chasing this one around for a while. It was a pretty good target despite its size. There's a lot of iron in here. I took a bunch of nails out of here, but we were able to find this teeny tiny little ball of lead, which, from what I understand, was a projectile very similar to our shotguns of today. They would put a bunch of these down the barrel instead of, you know, one big musket ball, and they'd all come out and give you a better chance of hitting a bird or a small animal like a squirrel or something. It doesn't look like this was actually shot. We're like right next to where all these nails are and stuff, so this was probably dropped when they were throwing them in their pocket or something to go off for the day's meal. It's a good find. Unbelievably, we actually got a good target here. It's like a 70. Sounds like a button maybe, but we'll see. I don't know, there seems to be some iron staining of the soil here, so Might be a big piece of iron here. Oop, it's in my hand. Well, it's certainly a button. Awesome. Man. You know, some days I find a dozen of these big flat colonial buttons. But a day like today, where wasn't expecting much in terms of non-ferrous targets, this is a very, very welcome surprise. I don't think that there's any designs on there, but just to be sure, we're going to get the toothbrush out, check it out. Nope, afraid not, but it does have the shank still on there. And I can tell by kind of the different colored patches here that this was at one time plated and probably gold or silver. Beautiful. Alright, well this is a great sign. If there's targets like this out here, there's got to be more, right? Alright, well I just dug what I thought was going to be another nail. I got it in my hand. I still thought it was a nail, but it is a piece of brass here, and it is, check it out, another shoe buckle fragment. Man, and it looks like it has a pretty nice little pattern on there. This, again, based on the curve of it here, it would have had a pin going through this way. Some inner workings here, which was probably iron, was a shoe buckle, a small one by the looks of it. From what I understand, knee buckles were a little bit less curved. Now, I suppose this could have been on a hat of a stereotypical pilgrim. I'm pretty sure that the jury is still out if there was a real difference between hat buckles and shoe buckles. But awesome. Well, you know what? This, although is only a fragment, some people who are in this hobby go their whole lives without finding a piece of shoe buckle. Just happen to live in the right spot. And these things come up pretty regularly, but worked pretty hard for this thing today. So on that note, let's get out all the nails, all the non-nails, and see what we found at this mysterious place. Well, I didn't start out the day super optimistic that we were going to find anything interesting. I was hoping that if we sifted through those nails, we'd find a few things, but man, that Vermont coin exceeded my expectations wildly. I've got everything set out here. Let's take a look. Alright, so it was quite slim pickings today, but you know, that Vermont copper and the shoe buckles, it's hard to beat that stuff. It's some incredible finds. We found a spoon handle, a fork handle, and this is a broken knife, and then this is a much more substantial knife blade. This might have been a folder. It's just much more substantial. We got our chain link. This potentially piece of a hammer. I guess it could also be a wedge for a tool, for a tool handle. This I actually found in the same hole as this piece of shoe buckle, which I'm wondering if this is part of it. And this is also more of this same one. This is definitely a second different buckle, and then this is then a third different buckle. So we've got three different incomplete shoe buckles here. We have one big brass button, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 pewter buttons, all of which are in not very good shape. I just took one handful of nails out of my bag. I have more. A lot of the nails are like this, completely corroded, covered in the iron nodules, and then some of them still are usable, feasibly. But there were a lot of them. And then, how can we forget the star of the show here, the Vermontensium, Vermont copper. Maybe you can see here, I just took a little bit of oil from my skin, very lightly rubbed it, and it kind of made all of the high points a darker color. This will fade away probably by the time I get home, but it'll give me a chance to clean it up. You can see the star on the back. That's beautiful. Look how crude it is. Isn't that incredible? All right, folks, I'm going to get home and get that coin behind glass in a prominent place in my collection and probably stare at it all week. Thanks again for watching. Hope you had as much fun out here as I did today. Hopefully I'll see you next time.